I'd like you to turn in your Bibles to the Gospel by Mark, chapter 4, because I'd like to describe the real good life. He was talking about being out in your boat or other activities, and that was kind of indicative of the good life. But I wonder, are you living the good life? For many, the idea of the good life would evoke financial security, great health, abundant pleasures, constant freedoms. That would be the good life, if you could have money and happiness and the freedom to enjoy them. But sadly, most of those who pursue that good life never find it after pursuing it. What they thought was lasting will fade. What they thought was secure gets lost. What they thought was pleasure becomes pain. And what they thought was real turns out to be fake. Well, it's tragic to miss the real good life for an imitation that is broken and useless, and all the time missing what Jesus offers. Jesus offers to us the most incredible life possible for any human to possess. In Mark chapter 4 and verse 8, and then restated again in verse 20, He is the good life, a life that flows from within. It is the original and genuine good life. Every other variety is false, counterfeit, and fake. Only Christ's good life never ends. All the rest do. That's where we're going to start in the Gospel by Mark. But before we listen to Christ's actual words and hear His voice in verse 8 and 20, I would like to remind you that anyone who's really honest and looks around at the weather forecaster that's talking about the good life, anybody that looks at that soon realizes that the world's pleasures, even the best ones, fade out so fast and run dry so fast. I know any of you that have walked long apart from Christ before you came to salvation, you know how quickly all those glimmering treasures just turn to nothing. I was listening, in fact, my son said, "What on earth are you listening to?" I was listening to an old song. I found it on the computer that was very popular when I was in high school. And when I read this date, you're going to know how old I am. But it just embodied, so often pop songs capture the culture. Maybe not the truth of God, but they certainly are a great insight into the culture of the time. But I was listening to what all the kids back in the old days in Hazlitt High School from 69 to 73 in that era were all thinking about. And I just thought, before I read what Jesus said, I'd like to remind you what the world around you is still saying about the good life. Here are the words. This was the greatest song of 1969. And I heard the singer, his words were framing and exactly capturing the fleeting pleasures of anyone who tries to live the good life apart from Jesus. Listen to his piercing words about chasing after the good life apart from Jesus Christ. This is what he said. "Yesterday, when I was young, the taste of life was sweet as rain upon my tongue. I teased at life as if it were a foolish game, the way the evening breezes tease the candle flames. I ran so fast that time and youth at last ran out. I never stopped to think what life was all about. At every conversation I can now recall, it concerned itself with me and nothing else at all. The game of love I played with arrogance and pride, every flame I lit, too quickly died. The friends I made all seemed somehow to drift away, and only I am left on stage to end the play. There are so many songs in me that won't be sung. I feel the bitter taste of tears upon my tongue. The time has come for me to pay for yesterday when I was young." Boy, I wish the youngsters of our day that are chasing those empty dreams would listen to what Jesus has to say. Because unlike anything the world offers, Jesus continues to offer what is best until one day when this life is over and we've experienced what is best of all of life on earth. He lets us come into life which is eternal, which is better yet. That's his promise. The best way to start the good life that's genuine is to listen to the author of the good life himself as he speaks.